I feel blessed, that's evident. I'm the best I've ever been. So if they ask you how I feel, what's up? I'ma tell you I feel amazing. I feel blessed, that's evident. I'm the best I've ever been. So if they ask you how I feel, I'ma tell you I feel amazing. I'ma tell you I feel amazing. I feel blessed, that's evident. I'm the best I've ever been. So if they ask you how I feel, I'ma tell you I feel amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the month of October. October 4th on a Wednesday. Yes, it is a Wednesday, which you know means it's bearing down the gridiron. Now, I know I usually do this at 1 p.m. Had to change some things up, but I was going to make sure that you got your bearing down the gridiron episode. So, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, I am the Playmaker down in the Southern City. I am in Jacksonville, Florida. Ready to talk some college football. Got some stuff to get into today because, can I say, Brian Kelly lost another big game. Uh, Got to talk about a couple of teams from my state of Florida that took some nasty L's, which I'm getting to. We're gonna recount the slate that took place, give you my record, see how I did. Preview this week because we got a big week. We have a very big week today. So without further ado, let's go ahead. We're gonna get this party started off right because we got to go with the 2-minute drill. This literally might be actually 2 minutes because there's not that much news to get into. First order of business: Colorado star Travis Hunter likely to miss the next 2 games. So he already missed 2. He missed the Oregon game. He missed the USC game. Both of losses for Colorado because unnecessary hit he took from Colorado State's Henry Blackburn. They talked it out. They sweated the wall away. Nevertheless, the result is, hey, still ain't fully recovered yet. So he's going to miss the next 2 games. And those are the next 2 games that you see on your screen at Arizona State this week. And then next week, they host Stanford. Should be able to win both of those games. Both of those teams are 1-4 on the season. So I'm pretty sure Colorado should be favorite to win both of those games to get back on track. That'll get them to 5 wins if they handle business, which I believe Coach Prime will, which give them 1 game away from being bowl eligible. And which is crazy thinking about what a team, he is taking over a team that was 1-11. Now he can win these 2 games, be 5-2, and be 1 game away from bowl eligibility. Gotta love what Coach Prime is doing in Colorado right now. Now there's people who are happy that he took L's in these past 2 games because they don't have to hear much about Colorado no more because Colorado was taking over the world. But y'all have to be patient, man. Y'all have heard me say this. So those of you who've been loyal listeners watching me, thank you. Vic, thank you, Vic. Appreciate it. Victor says it's time to bear down the gridiron with the hardest working super hacker to Playmaker. One of these days, y'all, I will give you a backstory of where that came from, but not right now. But nevertheless, what Coach Prime has done with Colorado is great, it's good, but it's just the beginning. It is year 1. Slow your roll, people. It is year 1 with Coach Prime at Colorado. Okay, give him 2 more, give him to this year 3. He said he's 6-7 players away. He got a new coach coming. He got a new coach coming in to coach the D line. They won SAP next year. Give him, let him handle business this year. Whatever the record is, what the record is, because he's not coming in and is going playoff championship. That's not he's looking for. He's trying to see where the program is at. Get the guys that he need to get. Make sure he know what he needs to get during the recruiting season. Get them in and build on it. Year 1, y'all jumping too early. Settle down. Let Coach Prime handle business. Do what he got to do. So the next 2 games, even though you're not going to have Travis Hunter, Coach Prime should be able to win these games. I have full faith in Shedeur Sanders and the rest of the Colorado Buffalo to beat Arizona State in Arizona. Not easy going to Temple, Arizona, but you should come home, hold Stanford, and do what you got to do. I love it. So, Sick Diggy, what's good? Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for joining me. So that's 1. Let's go down to number 2. Iowa quarterback came in there out for the remainder of the season with a torn ACL. Now, if you remember him, he transferred from Michigan. He was the starting quarterback from Michigan. He transferred out to go to Iowa, which is and you hate to see stuff like you really hate to see stuff like this. Came in knocking there, done for the season. Hopefully, if he chooses to, the NCAA will give him another year eligibility because he only played, I think, 4 games. I think you have to play like 6. I think it's like 6 games to get credit for a whole year of a season. He only played 4, so I hope if he wants to come back and play another year, I hope the NCAA gives him that extra year eligibility to play before he decides either to move on to the NFL or go off about his business doing whatever else. But man, you hate to see a guy, especially at the quarterback position, done for the season with a torn ACL. Really, you really hate to see that. Uh, Sid Diggy, what you got for me? Sid Diggy asked, did Cade and McNamara have a falling out with the coaching at Michigan? Honestly, I didn't dive into it. I'm to be honest, I didn't even know he transferred. I really didn't. Because I didn't really pay attention to what was going on with Michigan because I was too big. Because it's a lot of colleges to try to make sure you get your notes and all that stuff. So main thing I did was look at their schedule, see what their schedule was like, and go from there. But yeah, but I'm gonna look it up, and hopefully I have an answer for you next week, Sid Diggy. And by the way, Sid Diggy's out in Norway, so I really appreciate him watching because he's out in Norway right now, and it's like almost 4 o'clock here on the East Coast in the United States. But nevertheless, yeah, I'll do some research. I'll figure it out, and and there's a lot of reasons people transfer. It's like, let's say they say here, there's more than one reason why certain people would transfer to another school. It's a lot of reasons, man. And NIL don't change a lot of things. The NIL really jump started the transfer portal. That's what so now people want to go somewhere they can get an NIL deal and they are playing. That's the main 2 reasons right there. But there's more reasons after that. There's very more reasons, but those are the main 2. The NIL deal like gave the transfer portal a booster. Okay. So we'll see how that goes right there. All right. Before I get to the third article to end the super, let me see what Lock had to say. He's already made the team better than they were last year. Coach Prime is going to do well. I agree. It's just the people they react so quickly and not fully understand the whole entire process, the whole entire picture. Is year 1. So why is y'all doing all this? It's only year 1. I always tell people when you get a new coach, take year 1 as it is. Whatever year 1's gonna be, take it as it is, because he's trying to learn the team. He's trying to learn how to recruit, where to recruit at. He's trying to learn everything about the team that he has and what's the best way to recruit and get players there. That's year 1. He got too much to change up, deal with, and all this other stuff. So take year 1 as it is. Same thing with Coach Prime. Even though it's Coach Prime, take year 1 as it is. Come back year 2. Okay, let's see if we can get a little bit of improvement. And then year 3, you want to be like, hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's always been. Look at Florida State, Mike Noel. Year 1, okay, take it as it is. Yeah. Year 2 was terrible for Mike Noel in Florida State. Year 2 was absolutely terrible, and I loved every minute of it. They didn't even make a bowl game in year 2, but the AD at Florida State stuck with it. Year 3, which was last year for Mike Noel in Florida State, 10-3 on the season. Made a bowl game, was in a New Year's Six bowl game at that. Look at this year. They are undefeated and ranked number 4 in the country. When you give coaches time, they can show you what they're about. But if you're not going to give them time, they don't have a chance. So with me saying that, I hope some people in Gainesville, Florida are hearing me right now. But I'll get into Florida in my next segment. All right, let me hurry close out this 2-minute drill right here. NC State changing quarterbacks from Brian Armstrong to MJ Morris. It's been a struggle for the NC State Wolfpack. I believe they was in the top half of the ACC to do some things, and they ain't doing it. Like, let me go to the standings right now in the ACC because it's not working out right now. I don't know what's going on in Raleigh, North Carolina. The NC State, they are 3-2 on the season, 1-1 in conference play. Like, we don't know what's going on with NC State right now. So they opened the season up at UConn, beat them by 10, which is Not nothing to be excited about when you can only beat a team like UConn by 10. And you had that big game with Notre Dame, and Notre Dame smacked you after the weather delay with lightning and stuff in the area. You did the same thing to Vermont, which you should have did. You beat Virginia, but Virginia, oh my God, Virginia's awful. Like Virginia is god awful. Oh my God, Virginia is so awful right now. It don't make no sense. And then you lost this past week to Louisville at home. You got Marshall this week, who is 4-0, by the way. That might be an interesting game to say the least. And then you at Duke, and then you got Clemson coming in, then Miami coming in. Oh Lord, it's gonna get even worse. I can see why the coaches made the change because they about to hit that schedule when bah 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 bah. We talking games. Whew, good gracious. Oh, after Marshall, NC State got to go to Duke, host Clemson, host Miami at Wake Forest before they can see Virginia Tech. Good looking. Everybody looking at Colorado straight. Look at that straight. Duke is balling. They barely lost to Notre Dame in this game in this past week. Clemson, oh, they pissed off. You know they pissed off. Miami is undefeated and ranked in the top 25. And then Wake Forest still balling even without Sam Hartman because he's the quarterback at Notre Dame now. Ooh, that's a gauntlet right there for NC State. So I can see why they changed quarterback, but we're gonna see if it's gonna work because you're not looking too good right now. Definitely not looking too good. All right. Sid Diggy says the impatience of the fans, you can't expect an overnight turnaround in the day. Thank you, Sid. Thank you. That's it. You can't expect turnarounds that fast, all right? You just can't. All right. All right, that was a 2-minute drill. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, recap the weekend that was. And the state of Florida has to hear from me on this one. We'll be back.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Cowboys Talk.
The Dallas Cowboys got exactly what they deserved. Let me say that one more time, because you know it's true. The Dallas Cowboys got exactly what they deserved.
Dak Prescott is overrated and he shouldn't be paid, okay? And the same thing with Pollard. I mean, Pollard breaking the tackles at that 57-yard touchdown run. I mean, we needed that big time.
33 points in the fourth quarter. Let me say that again. 33 points in the fourth quarter. And that's off of 4 turnovers committed by the Colts. See, at one point, and the fact that at the end of the third quarter, it was 21-19, and the final score was 54-19. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, that is completely unexpected.
Cowboys Talk is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
The Playmaker Squad is sponsored by Lids. Locker Rooms by Lids. Shop hats and official sports gear at Lids. Lids, the leader and #1 destination for hats, gears, and everything that moves you. Make it a perfect shop for fans to find official sports hats, merchandise, and gears. Represent your team, your town, and your style with a snapback, adjustable, fitted hat, or beanie from thousands of college and professional teams. Browse the very latest jerseys and t-shirts for the best teams out there. Lids has officially licensed professional and college sports teams apparel and hats featuring the hottest brands and trends. Shop online or visit one of the 100 stores across the country. Locker Rooms by Lids.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bearing Down the Gridiron live here on this October 4th, 2023. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that you saw there, my brother Alex Agazar, the host of Cowboys Talk. And trust me, it's a big week for Cowboys fans. And Victor will tell you, it's a big week for Cowboys. They go into Santa Clara. They take on that team in Northern California, in the Bay Area. So, hey, listen to him. He's going to tell you what he believes what the Cowboys should do to beat that team. and if they are capable of beating that team. So before we get into our gridiron roundup, let me see here. Victor says, I agree, Sig. I just don't like how everyone is celebrating Coach Prime losses. Jason Woodlock probably being the loudest. I'm gonna say Justin Woodlock for Wise. My brother Wise said Hefe. That's his specialty right there. Jason Woodlock. I'll leave that to him. But let's get into it. We gotta recap the weekend that was in our gridiron roundup. And as you see here, the games that we previewed last week in our campus tour, Oregon State handled business 21-7 over the two-time Pac-12 champions of Utah. They handled business. That's a key loss for the Utah Utes. They usually don't lose this early in the season, especially in the conference play. That they showed that in the past 2 years. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the Utah Utes bounce back, because not having Cam Rising so far through 5 games, it's starting to catch up with the Utah Utes, because they are not experienced at quarterback like you want them to be, because Cam Rising is not at quarterback. Let's see how long he'll be out, and if he does return for the Utah Utes. But good win for the Oregon State Beavers. Keep moving up the ladder with the win there. Sticking in the Pac-12, we all know what happened. USC, Colorado 48-41, win by the Trojans. Trojans was stomping them at first, and Colorado made a fierce comeback. Caleb Williams throwing for 6 touchdowns. Sador Sanders throwing for 5 touchdowns. Great performance by both quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks made cases for their Heisman, but yet it's going to take a lot to catch Caleb Williams. And by the way, Caleb Williams is having people a little nervous up in the NFL, because he may not come out after the end of the season. He may elect to stay with USC for another year and do it that way. So there's a lot of questions floating around, because Caleb Williams has created a stir as of right now. But nevertheless, USC jumped out to a 21-0 lead before Colorado scored. It got to 34 before Colorado was able to score it again to make it 34-14. And then Colorado handled business, tried to come back in it, but it wasn't too much. All right, from the Pac-12 to the Big 12, Texas. Dominant performance in the second half over Kansas in the top 25 showdown, 40-14. That second half was a blitz attack that Kansas could not handle. We went into halftime with the Texas Longhorns leading 13-7. I'll say that again. Texas was leading at halftime 13-7. They went on to outscore the Jayhawks in the second half 27-7. Just blitzed them in the second half, and Kansas had no chance. So big win for the Longhorns, which sets up a big game that's happening this weekend, which I'll get into in our campus tour. The oldest rivalry in the South between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Auburn Tigers over the Plains, War Eagle, but the Bulldogs, hard fought game. But when number one needed it the most, they went to their go-to guy. Bob Browers powered his way, and the Georgia Bulldogs passed the Auburn Tigers 27-20. That man, Brock Browers, the best tight end in the game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, okay? Brock Browers, 8 catches, 157 yards receiving with the touchdown. And that touchdown was like a 40-yard touchdown when he caught the ball across the middle and just outran the defense to give them that lead, and they didn't look back. Carson Beck, for my Bulldog fans out there, starting to look better and better each week. He went 23 for 33, 313 yards with a touchdown. He also threw a pick, but he's starting to look better and better. I mean, I know Georgia fans are getting a little anxious because they Bulldogs are in a lot of close games at the moment, which they are not used to. But when you lose the amount of players that Georgia loses, things like this happen, okay? You can ask Nick Saban. You can ask, who else I'm thinking of? You can ask any coaches who've been coaching for a long time with a program. These things happen. That's why we respect Nick Saban like we do, because we know he lost so many great talent, and yet he was still able to reload. Kirby Smart is on that same path. He is able to reload year after year after year. Okay, remember we're starting to call the Philadelphia Eagles the Philadelphia Bulldogs because they keep drafting Bulldogs for that defense. So, but they're starting to pick it up. Oxford, Mississippi, as we stay in the SEC. Ole Miss 55, LSU 49. Hold that thought. I will come back to that, okay? Because I got something to get on right there. And then game of the week last week was Duke hosting Notre Dame in the top 20 showdown, 17 versus 11. Hard fought game. Duke tried to come back, but it was not enough. Notre Dame was just a little too much. 21-14. Notre Dame walks out of Durham, North Carolina with a win. Big win on the year after losing to Ohio State the prior week before. Again, they should have won, but they didn't. Now let's go back because what you got here, Six? Six says, was LSU versus Ole Miss a matter of good offense or bad defense? How about both? Okay, because Sig, I don't know if you caught me last week when I had to come down hard on Lane Kiffin because he opened his goddamn mouth, knowing that he was playing Alabama, and he got helped at 10 points against Alabama. They lost 24-10 to Alabama. And we're talking about a team who scored 50-something points a game before the Alabama game. Okay? They was averaging 50-something points a game before Alabama, and they got helped at 10. Alabama shut them completely down. You fast forward a week later, this past weekend, here comes LSU, a team who stomped them more hard than them last year when they went to Death Valley, which I call, by the way. Which is like they do Ole Miss kind of dirty because you play Alabama one week and the following week you play LSU. That's kind of dirty. But nevertheless, as you can see here, Brian Kelly decided to give up 55 damn points to Ole Miss to lose the damn game. And it started off bad. Now you can see, look at the first quarter, 21-7 Ole Miss. Like, what's going on with LSU? And then they bounced back. They scored 21 themselves to Ole Miss 10. And then they took the third quarter 14-3. But all of a sudden the fourth quarter happened and they couldn't stop a damn cold. LSU couldn't stop a damn cold. If you take away 21 points in the fourth quarter, Ole Miss went into the fourth quarter with only 34 points. LSU was already at 42. Brian Kelly and big game for some odd reason don't mix. From Notre Dame to LSU, for whatever reason, they don't mix. I don't know why. Okay? I don't know why. You got your ass whooped in the second half by Florida State to open the damn season in conference play, and that was in Orlando. And then you come here and you get your ass smacked to you in the fourth quarter by Ole Miss 21-7, Brian Kelly. But yet you're in the SEC. And shout out. I'm gonna give a shout out real quick. Shout out to my man Damian Adams, who does a great job. He said, and I quote, there used to be a time when the ACC played defense. Because he was referring to this game. Because this game got out of hand in a shootout. ACC is not really used to shootouts. That's not what the ACC has been. It was part of the reason why the ACC has been dominant, because they play defense. They're saying defense wins championships. But for some reason, LSU and Ole Miss don't know how to play defense. They don't know how to play defense. So you can score 40. You can score 50 if you want to. Just know you got to stop that other offense, though, which is a good thing. But, I'm with my boy Damien. Where is the defense at? The SEC is physical. Pads meeting pads. When you step on that field with an SEC team, you know you in it for a fight. Texas goes down the Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Haynes 24 on Nick Saban's defense. LSU and Ole Miss just combined for what, 100-something points this past weekend. Yeah, we dealing with a lot of shootouts. It's not good because the conference is built on defense. Defense is slowly dissipating in the SEC. That's not a good thing. And check this out. Look at this. LSU 636 yards of total offense. 706 for Ole Miss. They had over 700 yards of offense. Ole Miss, are you serious? 700. You know why? They threw for 389, but LSU threw for 414. But they ran for three. Ole Miss ran for 317 yards on LSU. Think about that. 317 yards rushing. Great, because when I look at LSU and I see 223, I'm like, damn, they ran for a lot of yards. But it's nothing compared to 317. They almost outgained you by 100. And then the penalty, like, how do you lose to a team? Like, somebody answer this question for me. How do you lose to a team that had 11 penalties for 121 yards? How do you lose to that team? Like, Ole Miss had 11 penalties for 121 yards. And they was able to win the game. I don't understand. But they ran for 317. They threw for 389. They had a balanced attack. They threw the ball 39 times and they ran the ball 49 times. Well, same thing for LSU. They threw the ball 38 times. They ran the ball 37 times, but yet they still outgained your ass with the balanced attack. Brian Kelly, look at the time of possession. There ain't much difference. 30-43 for Ole Miss, 29-17 for LSU. But yet, somehow, Brian Kelly, get you a defense, because LSU is about defense. If you not remember in the days of the old Alabama and LSU, we was looking at 9-6 wins and 6-3 wins between them two. Now we got the Brian Kelly era, and we can throw up 55 points now. No, Brian Kelly, you have to do something, because guess what? In November, nearly a month from today, literally a month from today, November 4th, you go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And trust me, Nick Saban remembers that loss that you gave him last year at Death Valley. Trust me, revenge is on the mind of Nick Saban. He ain't going to say it because it's Nick Saban. He's not going to say it. But trust me, Nick Saban's going to show that tape. This is what happened to us when we went to Death Valley the last time we saw LSU. This is what happened. They beat us. They came back and beat us at that. When you walk into Tuscaloosa, Alabama, them boys going to be ready to punch you in the mouth. As Lane Kiffin opened his goddamn mouth, coming in with a high-powered offense, 10 points. 10. I can lay a count how many points they had on both hands. That's ridiculous. So, Brian Kelly, get it together, man. Get it together. Now we must address the state of Florida. Oh, boy. So, my Gators, we had the big win at home against Tennessee. We had a subpar game and a win against, I believe it was Charlotte. But we had to go to Lexington, Kentucky. And when we took our ass to Lexington, Kentucky, we got our ass whooped. Want me to tell you how bad that it was, how bad my Gators got their ass whooped? I can tell you this right now. I went to the Florida Gators Facebook group. Okay. And shout out to Gator Nation. That's the name of the group, Gator Nation. Love it. They love their interaction with me when I'm able to interact with them. They are, we got good people, we got bad people. It's all good. It's a big group. But Gator Nation, the Florida Gators group, I went on here. And this is what I said. This is exactly what I put. Quote, I'm going to hate this, but I have been working and couldn't watch the game. So how bad was the game? Because the score looks bad. As you see the score, those of you who are watching on X, or formerly known as Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, that was the question I posed to the Florida Gators group. And the comments that I got, good Lord. This one here, I'm not going to say no names on this one. I'm not going to say no names. But this one says here, be lucky you was making money and didn't have to sit through that. Damn. No, there's more. Oh, there's more. Because yeah, one person said Chicago Bears bad. Is Victor still listening in? That's damning. Victor will tell you for somebody to comment and say Chicago Bears bad, that is damning. And I am a Gator fan. And when somebody in the Gators group compared the Florida Gators to Chicago Bears, oh my gosh, they said abysmal, worse than you could imagine. This one person, they sent a picture and it says, after this god awful game, I'll need to take pound of a few now. Go Gators, great loss. We are definitely going to get good at losing. Way to go. Upon further review, I'm going to need another drink. Gator Nation, Gators, I hope y'all are hearing this, because for me to have people to say, be happy that I was at work and couldn't watch the game, that that is that's not good. That's not good at all. I should not be I should not be happy that I had to work and miss my Gator game, and for people to say I'm lucky to miss that. I have a coworker who said the exact same thing. He would have rather been at work than watch what he watched Saturday at Lexington, Kentucky. That's bad. Victor says he's here. Yeah. If it's the Bears bad, yeah, it's very bad. Even Victor confirms that. That's terrible. That's literally terrible. I mean, Florida, y'all got punched in the mouth 23 nothing before y'all even scored. I mean, once y'all scored, I thought y'all might have to make a comeback. Because I was looking at the scores, but I couldn't see the game, so I was checking scores every now and then. But you never made a comeback. I mean, that's ridiculous because you let a running back by the name of Ray Davis for Kentucky to have 26 carries. Now, Victor, this is how bad it was. Remember this name from the Kentucky Wildcats running back. Remember this name, Ray Davis. 26 carries, 280 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Ray Davis, 26 carries, 280 yards rushing. That is a 10.8 average per carry with 3 touchdowns. This is the Florida Gators we're talking about here. And I am literally trying not to be ticked off right now, because when you gave up 280 yards rushing to one running back, not to one running back. As a team, they ran for 329. And 280 came from one running back. 280. 280! And you know what make it even worse? The Kentucky Wildcats only passed for 69 yards. The Kentucky Wildcats only passed for 69 yards. 9 completions out of 19 throws for 69 yards. But they was able to run the ball 36 times for 329 to an average of 9.1 per carry. 9.1 per carry. One running back was running for 10.8 a carry. What is that? He was right. Abysmal. Oh, what was that, Billy Napier? And I'm calling you out because you're the head coach, damn it. You get a big ass win against Tennessee in the swamp, and you go to Lexington and got this crap. This is what you put on the field. Now, to Billy Napier's credit, he did come out and say, whatever criticism that comes our way, we deserve it, because damn straight you do, because 329 rushing yards to 69 passing yards. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts. And then on our side, we threw the ball for 244 yards, and we only ran the ball for 69 yards. So we matched Kentucky passing game with our run game. That don't work. But guess what? That was not the most egregious thing. And Victor said, I know y'all gonna be shocked by me saying that. That wasn't the most egregious thing that happened in the state of Florida, surprisingly. So let's leave Lexington, Kentucky. Let's actually go to the state of Florida. And matter of fact, why be going to the state of Florida? Let's go to the bounce out that is Orlando, Florida. The Baylor Bears got their second win of the season against the UCF Knights, 36-35. Here's the problem. Those if you can see what's over here on this right side, you do see the score of the Knights jumping out to the 21-0 lead before Baylor scores. And then you see them go to a 35-7 lead, and then Baylor comes back and wins the game. Halfway through the third quarter, the UCF Knights were up 35-7. And then they got outscored 29 points straight. This is home at the bounce house. How do you do that? Especially when you're new to the conference. The newcomers come in here. They smack Baylor around because Baylor don't look good whatsoever this year. They look horrific. And they was able to score 29 unanswered. From 3:20 left in the game. 3:20 left in the third quarter. That is 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third quarter when they kicked that field goal to make it 35-10. And they outscored you the rest of the way. What the hell, Gus Malzahn? What in the blue hell was that? I need answers. Because that's, I don't know what to call that. Because if we call the Gators game abysmal, I don't know. Maybe Sick Digging and Victor, maybe y'all can help me find a word to call this game. Because we can't use abysmal because we just used it for the Florida game. I don't know what to call this. 29 straight points to win. 29 straight. Now I can see if it was back and forth, nip and tuck, and then you lost because you don't have your damn starting quarterback, which is John Ryan Plumlee, because he's out. But Tim McCain did his thing. 13 for 25, 234, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Your running back, Johnny Richardson, 6 carries, 105 yards on the touchdown. What happened? Defense couldn't stop them for some reason, but the offense couldn't score no more. What is that? Like literally, I'm looking at the numbers. I ain't get the statistics to put up here, but I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm not understanding. We're talking what? 446 yards for Baylor, 469 for UCF, which UCF wins that one. 293 passing for Baylor, 234 for UCF. Baylor wins that one. 153 yards rushing for Baylor, 235 rushing for UCF. Like, Sid Diggy says, UCF got sloppy and fell in quicksand. Who greased the pigskin in the fourth quarter? I don't have an answer. Victor says, I don't even think pathetic is the word we can use. Trash juice, maybe. Victor don't even know what words to use because 29 unanswered. And what are we doing? Oh my gosh. Like, oh, you know what? We're gonna take our other break before I go too far because we got to get to this weekend because we got a good weekend to slate here. So, but UCF Gus Malzahn, y'all better do something, okay? Because the fact that y'all lost this game is the reason why y'all didn't even make the slate for a campus tour. Because you were slated in the campus tour because the game that you got coming up this week, but you somehow blew a 28-point lead and lost the game, and it's like ain't even a point. So get it together. All right. So that was the gridiron round.
Teams. Browse the very latest jerseys and hats. Took 21 years, but hey, the Rams are Super Bowl champions once again. Down at the Playmaker Silence here, longtime Ram fan, and the host of the RLA Rams podcast called Ramley Talk. On Ramley Talk, I tell you how it is. The good, the bad, the indifferent. Coming with straight facts with raw emotion and authentic viewpoint on the Los Angeles Rams. Don't matter what area you grew up in, it could be the fifth and fourth.
Welcome to Ringside Chaos, the professional wrestling discussion segment of the Bear of Texas podcast. The only professional wrestling podcast in the world where pro wrestling is discussed passionately, with confidence, with great knowledge, and most of all, in the most sophisticated way. So brace yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, because chaos is about to be unleashed. Thing with Tony Khan now being in talks to buy WWE, I'm going to be honest with you. I spoke to this with Ricky Litwinkowicz, aka the Master of Mayhem, and he honestly believes that me talking about Tony Khan buying WWE is basically I'm kind of wasting my time because Ricky believes it's never going to happen. Okay, now don't get me wrong, Ricky, I respect what he says. He could very well be correct, but I got to be honest with you. The fact that Khan is interested in supposedly buying WWE, to me, that's definitely worth talking about. Now, I should mention this. Shout out to Ricky, by the way. And I gotta mention this, that even Jim Cornette already had something to say. And he said, and I quote, "Ridiculous to think that could happen," unquote. He's a wrestling fan that's been super supportive of Brody Lee as a wrestler and everything that WWE could have done with him and, everything that he could have shown and, offered for the wrestling business. For me, I wasn't just a fan of Brody Lee himself, like in character. I strongly respected him, as a human being. Like, I had a lot of respect for Jonathan Huber. That's Mr. Brody Lee's real name. So basically, I had a lot of respect for Brody Lee, Luke Harper, and of course, Mr. Jonathan Huber. This particular episode was about World Class Championship Wrestling. And the episode title is, WCCW Wrestling's Lone Star Legacy. And because I am the Bear of Texas, and I do hail from the Dallas-Fort Worth area of the state of Texas, World Class Championship Wrestling was basically my territory as far as being a wrestling fan goes. Ladies and gentlemen, Ringside Chaos is available on all streaming platforms including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
The Playmakers Bar is proudly sponsored by Fanatics. Fanatics, the #1 shop where sports fans across the world love to get their sports gear and fandom on. A wide selection of gears from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, the NCAA, and of course, the WWE. Whether it is football, basketball, baseball, hockey, even soccer, golf, no matter what sport it is, there's sports appeal for every fan of every sport. Fanatics, where sports fans shop and official license everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bearing Down the Gridiron. Thank you for that little snafu there. That's on my part. Ringside Chaos, Alex Arkansas. Check him out because he talked about Edge being in AEW. Yes, Edge is in AEW. Adam Copeland. We have a pay-per-view coming up, Fastlane. He's going to preview that. So much going on in wrestling right now. So if you're a wrestling fan, wrestling Ringside Chaos is one for you. If it does not, also, I am a part of a wrestling show. Shout out to my boy Cool McCain. Monarchs of Wrestling, Cool McCain, myself, Wise. We just added Cole Johnson to the team. Key Williams, Steve. So we talked it out. They did a great job. Key, Wise, and Cool, they did a great job Monday, getting you ready for Fast Lane, talking about the week that was in wrestling. So you got 2 shows of wrestling you want to get into right there. So now it's time. It's what time that y'all love most, that y'all love to see. And we going on our campus tour. And to begin our campus tour, I just got on Brian Kelly. And guess what? You have another big game on your hands because this is a top 25 matchup in the SEC when you take your LSU Tigers to Missouri to take on the Missouri Tigers, who are surprisingly undefeated, by the way. The Missouri Tigers are undefeated, okay? Undefeated. I'm just excited as y'all because I didn't see it coming. I did not expect the Missouri Tigers when I started this to be where they at right now, sitting at 5-0. I didn't expect it. I truly didn't expect it. Okay, I didn't. I don't know what's going on up in Missouri, Columbia, Missouri right now, but these boys are playing some football. They are literally playing football. Okay, I'm trying to figure it out because when I look at this schedule, there's some good wins on this schedule. Okay. We're talking Missouri opened their season. Missouri opened their season against South Dakota. Should win that one. Middle Tennessee State should win that one. Kansas State comes walking in, ranked 15 in the country. They're reigning defending Big 12 champions, and they beat them on a 60-yard field goal. Then they followed that up with the Missouri Tigers coming in, and they beat them. And then they just went to Vanderbilt and took care of Vanderbilt. Now you got LSU walking in. Now, here's where things get interesting here, okay? Because Missouri, if you beat LSU, you get a date with the Kentucky Wildcats. Okay? You got Kentucky, then you got South Carolina coming in before you meet Georgia November 4th. That is the same week LSU and Alabama get together. So we could have 2 premier games in the SEC. Missouri at Georgia, LSU at Alabama. And speaking of LSU, I told you, you have a month to prepare, literally a month from today to prepare for Alabama. You got Missouri this week at Missouri. Okay. You got Auburn coming to Death Valley the week after. You got Army after that. You take a bye week and then you head to Tuscaloosa. One of y'all gonna get a big win. A much needed win, too. And needs to be Brian Kelly and LSU, but I don't know. That might not be my pick, though. That would be next segment. Does Brian Kelly drop to 3-3 and Missouri goes to 6-0? Or does Brian Kelly right the ship, get to 4-2, give Missouri their first loss? Like you said, Victor, the battle of the cats. We're gonna find out which cat is ruling the SEC at the moment in time. Because right now, it's looking like Missouri. Because, boy, this going to be a big game. 12 p.m. ESPN. That's how you kick off your college Saturday. That's game 1. Game 2 from Columbia, Missouri to Columbus, Ohio for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Ohio State Buckeyes is getting the spotlight because they are hosting Maryland. The number 4 team in the country are in a Big Ten undefeated matchup with the Terrapins. The Terrapins come in 5-0. to the Buckeyes 4-0. And ESPN is giving Maryland not a chance in hell. 90.6% Buckeyes. Okay? They not getting a chance in hell to do this. And I can see why, because Maryland hasn't really paid nobody. Okay, you beat Townsend. Who is that? You beat Charlotte. Hell, Florida beat Charlotte. What does that tell you? The Virginia Cavaliers, they ain't even won a damn game yet. Virginia has lost to Tennessee, George Mason, Maryland, NC State, Boston College. So the Virginia Cavaliers haven't even won a damn game. Michigan State, they in turmoil because they just lost their head coach for some sexual reasons. Or shall I say some pleasure reasons. And then you beat Indiana. What has Indiana done? Let's see. Indiana, they beat Indiana State. They lost to Louisville. They beat Akron. They lost to Maryland. So they pretty much a 500 team. So Maryland hasn't really played nobody. So you go to Columbus, Ohio to face the Buckeyes, and you just might get your teeth kicked in because Ohio State is a 20-point favorite. Good luck, Maryland. From Columbus, Ohio to Los Angeles, California. UCLA and the Pac-12 as the Bruins are hosting the Washington State Cougars, 3 p.m. on the Pac-12 network. This is a road test for the Washington Cougars. This is an opportunity for a 4-0 team to get to 5-0 and do it so against one of the top favorites to win the Pac-12 in the UCLA Bruins. UCLA, they are trying to bounce back from the loss to Utah last week. I mean, the week before they had a bye week. So the week before their last game 2 weeks ago was against Utah. They took an L. And then, as we know from the Gridiron round, Utah took an L to Oregon State. So Washington State comes in at 4-0, UCLA 3-1. They had a bye week to get ready. ESPN doesn't believe that Washington State can survive this one. As ESPN has it 66.5 for UCLA to 33.5 Washington Cougars. It's going to be interesting to see. Vegas says 3.5 Bruins. I'm not a better, but if I learn from some of the people that I learned from correctly, that 3.5 doesn't look good. That might be a bet you want to stay away from. That might be a bet you want to stay away. You might want to pick that one straight up. Just a thought. But I'm not a better though, so you don't have to listen to me. But that should be an interesting game in the Pac-12. Can Chip Kelly bounce back, get a big win over a 13-ranked team, or can Wazoo keep it going, keep the madness going of the Pac-12? Because the Pac-12 has been balling this year. There's no and buts about it. The Pac-12 has been balling this year. Okay, so we'll see how this goes down in sunny California. From LA to Texas, College Station, Texas. That is, because it is one of the marquee games of the SEC schedule, as usual, 3:30 on CBS, SEC on CBS. Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher hosting number 11, Nick Saban in Alabama. Unlike Lane Kiffin, Jimbo don't put his foot in his mouth when it comes to that team named Alabama. We have here two teams that are 4-1 on the season. Somebody's going to get their second loss of the season and be done for the season, as far as trying to make the SEC championship game from the West and hopes of sneaking into a playoff appearance. So Alabama is the ranked team. A&M is not the ranked team, but you never know. ESPN says 66.3% Crimson Tide. So that gives the home team, that is Jimbo Fisher and the A&M Aggies, 33.7% to win this game. I feel that's a bit disrespectful. Okay? We know how this goes. When you got a team like Texas A&M at home and they get disrespected like that, they're going to come out ready to play. Now, Nick Saban, he might have found something. He might have found something in defense that say, defense, y'all have to play good football. That way, our offense can do what it needs to do just to give you enough points, which will probably be like 20, 24 points in that range. You play Alabama defense, and nobody can stop us. The way he did the Ole Miss, 24-10. And Ole Miss averaged 50-odd points a game. Look at last week. They dropped 55 on LSU. Just throwing that out there, okay? Shout out to Rod Isner. How you doing, sir? Good to see. He says Alabama roll tide. I do not blame you one bit. And by the way, they did just get done putting up 40 on Mississippi State, by the way, and that was at Starksville, Mississippi. So Alabama is rolling right now. But we'll see what good old Jimbo Fisher got up his sleeve with Nick Saban and see how that goes in that one. So we're gonna leave College Station and we're gonna head, down to the Athens, Georgia area, over the hedges, as the Georgia Bulldogs, the #1 team in the country, in the top 10 SEC showdown with the Kentucky Wildcats. 5-0 versus 5-0. Georgia hasn't looked like the #1 team in the country. It's been some struggles. Georgia fans have expressed their struggles with me, despite them being undefeated. Kentucky coming off beating the brace off my Florida Gators, as we all talked about earlier today. Wasn't pretty, but they did what they needed to do, and they have beaten Florida 3 straight times. Okay. Now, here's another team that Kentucky has problems beating as of lately. Before they started whooping on Florida, they couldn't beat Florida, but here's the other team they couldn't beat, the Georgia Bulldogs. So Kentucky, you're coming off wins against Ball State, Eastern Kentucky, Akron, Vanderbilt, and Florida. Not bad. Georgia, coming wins off University of Tennessee Martin, Ball State, South Carolina, UNAB, and Auburn. So you can probably say neither team has pretty much a marquee win on their schedule. Now you might say Florida, because Florida was ranked 22nd in the country when they played, which was last week, and Georgia ain't played nobody that was ranked. So you can say that. But nevertheless, this is still the reigning defending 2-time national champions in the Georgia Bulldogs, still led by Kirby Smart. Georgia's a 14.5 favorite, with ESPN saying 86.2% in favor of the Bulldogs to 13.8% of the Kentucky Wildcats. We shall see, because the Kentucky Wildcats, they can run the ball, because they damn near ran it for over 300 yards on us. So let's see if that Georgia defense is still that Georgia defense now, with a ranked versus ranked matchup on the year. So let's just see. Let's just see how that goes. Okay? And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have our spotlight game of the week. And the spotlight game of the week takes us to Dallas, Texas, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to kick off the day with this 12 p.m. ABC, Dallas, Texas, the Red River Showdown, the Red River Rivalry, whatever which way you want to call it, don't matter. This is the game of the week. College game, they will be there. This is the final Red River game of the Big 12, because next year it will be the Red River Rivalry for the SEC going forward. Our top 15 showdown. Both teams are undefeated. We have here number 12, the Sooners of Oklahoma. Number 3, the Texas Longhorns. I want to see how Brent Venables does this go around in the Red River Rivalry, because last year you got your ass whooped to the tune of 49-0. Okay? They beat your ass. They stumped the mud hole in you, and they walked it dry like Stone Cold Steve Austin. 49-0 last year. What you gonna do, Brent Venables? What you gonna do? Okay? Texas, though. You look good, Texas. You're looking real good. You handled business against Rice. You took your ass to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You took down Nick Saban in the Alabama Crimson Tide by 10. Can't remember the last time Nick Saban had a game where he lost by 10 points at home. That says a lot. You took care of Wyoming. You handled business against Baylor, and then you put an ass whooping in the second half against the Kansas Jayhawks in an undefeated matchup. That's what you did, Texas. Hook 'em horns, darn it. Maybe if you're Oklahoma on the other side. Arkansas State, 73-0. SMU, 28-11. Tulsa, 66-17. Cincinnati, you welcome Cincinnati to the Big 12 with a 20-6 beating, and that was at Cincinnati, by the way. And then last week you faced off with Iowa State and you dropped 50 on them. So the argument can be made, Oklahoma and Brent Venables. Who the freak did y'all play? Because we got Texas out here going to Tuscaloosa and beating Alabama and Nick Saban. We got them beating the undefeated Kansas, and they dropped 40 on them. So all eyes is on Texas right now. I wonder if Oklahoma can use that to feel some type of way. 6.5, Vegas says for the Longhorns. ESPN says 54.6 in favor of the Sooners, giving Texas 45.4% of winning this game. Things is getting interesting. ESPN and Vegas are going opposite ways on this one. Now, those of you who know me, y'all know I tell you every time, throw the records out the door. Throw the rankings out the door. It is a rivalry game. So, and the fact that Oklahoma has that 49-0 taste in their mouth from last year, I expect a different type of Oklahoma team to show up Saturday afternoon for a kickoff at 12 p.m. on ABC down in Dallas, Texas. Or should I say 11 Central Time if you're in Dallas. So I'm interested in this one. And we'll see who I pick, because I did pick one of these two teams to, win that conference going out. Which one who I pick? Maybe you'll find out when I do my Bear Down pick 6. But we're going to keep it rolling along. The yesterday vote now be some confusion because I had Texas A&M Alabama in that slate because I was going to do UCF, and I believe it was UCF and Kansas, if I'm not mistaken. But, obviously the blunder that UCF pulled off, I had to go a different route. So since I put Alabama and Texas A&M in the slate, the next game who got the second most votes was the Syracuse Orangemen going to Chapel Hill to take on the North Carolina Tar Heels. You would have voted. This was the second game on that you voted for. So we have to talk Syracuse in North Kakalaki. Syracuse 4-1 on the season. North Carolina undefeated at 4-0, ranked 14th in the country. It's going to be interesting to see how this one is going to be. ESPN says 61.2% for Tar Heels at home at Chapel Hill. Vegas has North Carolina by 8. 8 for North Carolina. Syracuse, you come into the game with the win of a Colgate, Western Michigan, Purdue, and Army, and then you got your ass whooped by the Clemson Tigers because they were pissed off because they lost to Florida State. They want to keep it 100. North Carolina, on the other hand, the Battle of the Carolinas to open the season against South Carolina, you took care of that one. Another thrilling game, 2 overtime game, another thrilling one with the Appalachian State, but you win that one. Warrior Boat came down to Chapel Hill and you took care of business in that one. And then you went to Pitt and you made Pitt what it is, Pitt. So, it's going to be interesting how this one goes. Syracuse coming in. Syracuse is not known to having big road wins, but this is a great test for the Orangemen here. Can they go down to Chapel Hill and can they upset number 14 and send a message to the ACC that North Carolina is right here and they're ready to rock and roll? All right, quick break. When we come back, my picks from the campus tour as we close up shop.
Paint Train Pipe Bomb Productions and the Playmakers blog are now both partnered with Fanatics. Fanatics is now your new home for all fan merchandise. From the MLB, the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, MLS, NASCAR, WWE, international soccer leagues, and golf. Check out the links below for everyday deals on Fanatics.com.
And they just ran into the Bear Down pick six. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm picking Missouri to beat LSU. I might take an L. I might take an L. I don't know. I just might take an L because yeah, you think you'll pick LSU after them losing to Ole Miss the way that they did. But I'm picking Missouri, all right? I'm going that route. I'm going with an underdog here. I'm picking Missouri to beat LSU. Next, give me the Buckeyes, man. When was the last time Maryland beat Ohio State? And then when is the last time Maryland beat Ohio State in Columbus? Give me the Buckeyes. Next, give me the Cougars of Washington State. They will roll into the Rose Bowl. They will roll into Pasadena, California. They will take down Chip Kelly. They will send a message to the world. This start that you seeing is not a fluke. This is for real. I am believing in the Cougars of Washington State. Give me Alabama. Like, I'm not going against Nick Saban. I like Jimbo. Jimbo's done a terrific job of not doing well at Texas A&M. Give me Alabama and Nick Saban. I'm not going against this man. I refuse to do it. I refuse to do it. Give me Georgia. As much as I would love to see Georgia lose, nah, I'm not going to do it. I think Georgia will find a way to contain that damn running game of Kentucky. And then, can Kentucky handle Bob Browers? I don't think so. Give me the Bulldogs at home. Let's give me the Bulldogs at home. Okay. Now, the spotlight game of the week, ladies. Oklahoma. Let's go Sooners. Let's go Sooners. This is not a smart pick for most people are saying right now. Why would you pick OU when Texas is the much better team? They went to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and they beat Texas. Well, guess what? I picked Oklahoma to win the Big 12. I said when I previewed the Big 12, it'll be great if Oklahoma says, y'all must have forgot who ran this conference for most of the time, which is Oklahoma. We're going to go out running this conference. I'm sticking with my preseason pick. Give me the Sooners to upset the Longhorns. I might get two wrong this week. Who knows? And then for the fan national point vote, give me the North Carolina Kakalakis of Tar Heel Nation to the state undefeated and take down Syracuse. Now, for those of you who are running before we get out of here real quick, I am currently, I think I'm in 20-10 on the year right now, 20-10. Let me go back to the record books here because I went 5-1. Yeah, I went 5-1 in week 5. That put me at 20-10 for the week. I have missed 3 extra point games because Arkansas, BYU, and my Florida Gators. Let's see if I can get this one right with North Carolina. But real quick before we get out of here, I'm taking Missouri to win the Tiger Bowl. I got Ohio State beating Maryland. I got Washington State going to Pasadena and take down LSU. UCLA. I have Alabama handling business against Texas A&M, even if it's in College Station. Georgia handles home business against Kentucky. I'm taking the Sooners to win the Red River Rivalry. And then I got North Carolina as my extra point pick. So let's see what I do this week. Thank y'all for tuning in this week. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. You know, you can always follow us YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X, which is formerly known as Twitter, LinkedIn. We are everywhere. We want to catch a replay of this broadcast, and you can catch the audio form on all streaming platforms: Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. So, with that being said, I am thankful. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Wednesday. Tomorrow, Ramley Talk. Got a recap what took place in Indianapolis. Look forward to a game against the Philadelphia Eagles. I will see y'all later. Deuces.
You just experienced Bearing Down the Gridiron, hosted by Donnell the Playmaker Silence, in collaboration with Arch Brothers Football. Bear Down the Gridiron is sponsored by Lids, Fanatics, and Paramount Plus. If you enjoyed today's show and would like to make a donation, you can donate via Cash App at $the Playmakers at $the Playmakers. Remember, Bearing Down the Gridiron is available on all podcast directories, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. And for Apple Podcast lovers, leave us a rating review. Let us know what you enjoy about today's episode that you're listening to. Tune in again next time for more Bearing Down the Gridiron, hosted by the Playmaker.